good touch there at the end.
That's what I do.
Yeah, this one was pretty. This
I
one was
touch them in
pretty
the
chill.
end.
This one was really chill.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of
Espookys Talk.
That's right, guys. Your favorite Spookies podcast is back. I am Arturo, and I am here, as always, with my co-hostess with the mostest, our brujajita herself, Eva.
Hey, everyone. It's Friday. It's not just any Friday. It is Good Friday.
Good Friday.
April 3rd, 2026. And for our cosmic forecast, I have nothing but spooky things to talk about. Our moon is sitting in 18 to 20 degrees, ruled by Scorpio. And as we all know, Scorpio is all about transformation and deep reflection.
Yes, I knew that.
I love that. You've been studying. So think about control. Think about your emotional truth and the power dynamics of your life. On the surface level, there should be nothing, because this should all be shadow work. So you're looking deep, deep, deep down inside. In other words, it's finally time to open Pandora's box.
It's time.
I know. But have you seen what happens to people when they open Pandora's box?
No.
So tread lightly. But don't worry, I got your back. I'll tell you what'll happen. So Venus is hanging out at 14 degrees in Aries, squaring Pluto, which Pluto is currently 14 degrees in Capricorn, making it a really tight square. So for all of you that are claustrophobic, it feels like there will be no escape. There's going to be no way that you can pretend. The mask is coming off. No more, I will deal with this later. Tis the point of no return.
Tis.
It's a big clash, because Venus in Aries is all about doing things quickly with all the passion and fuel of true enjoyment in an impulsive manner. But Pluto in Capricorn wants control, power, long-term transformation. So they clash. And instead, it results in obsession, magnetism, power struggles, and emotional triggers that feel way bigger than the moment itself. So as you can imagine, as you proceed today on your Good Friday, things are going to get a little out of control. Big reactions to small situations. But you've been warned. This is the kind of energy where you feel like, this is for me. And then the truth will come out and you're like, oh, just kidding, not for me. So I hope it's hitting. It's more of an emotional friction, if that makes sense. So in all honesty, the universe is trying to tell you, be honest about who has power over you. Are you going to let situations dictate who you are? Or are you going to stay in control? Be sure that you're in control of your emotional reactions. Look at things from a bird's eye view. Okay. Write down these external feelings rather than saying them out loud. All right. And then, more importantly, when people are being possessive, and again, being meaning it's an action. Their action is coming off as possessive, avoidant, or just straight up confusing. You need to stop mimicking them and continue to be you.
Yep.
Don't get sucked into it. Be you. Now, what can you do with this amazing energy? Because all energy is great. You just got to know how to deal with it. It's a great day for shadow work, like real work. And this is what I mean by opening Pandora's box. You're going to put your hand on your chest and ask yourself, what is truly bothering me?
What is truly bothering me?
And I promise you, something will answer back. And I want you to journal it. Well, I'm suggesting it, right? And really pull back from what you're feeling and be more of the observer of what you are feeling. And then after that, if you got time for it, you can cleanse your area in whichever ritual feels best for you, whether that's saging the room, turning on your favorite candle, putting on some music with good vibes, or even taking a bath with your favorite bath bomb. Either way, it's a day of looking inward, having some self-reflection time. And with that, we're ending our cosmic forecast. Take care. You've been warned. Yeah, so now that you've been warned, you can take care of your Good Friday. Now you know.
I like it.
And that segs way over to what we're going to be talking about today.
What are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about urban legends.
Urban legends. You know what's crazy? I was talking to someone just the other day at our work, at school.
Oh.
And we were talking about urban legends, and that's what kind of prompted all this, because we were talking about some freaky stories that he had heard from when he was a child. And I was like, that would be a great episode. Because, it's strange because every single town has a story. Every school, every road, every building. There's always something that people whisper about, little stories that they tell around the campfire, but they never quite be proven, But it's sometimes they're so crazy, so outlandish that they just might be true. Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense. I mean, if we're looking for an actual definition, it's essentially modern folklore stories, but they're a little more spooky, a little more mysterious, or even shocking.
Yep.
That is shared from person to person. But like you mentioned, they're unverified. I mean, they could be made up for all we know. But on our podcast, I have shared some stories. But I wonder if they're the same, like Bloody Mary or La Llorona.
True that.
Because they are modern, but they also have cultural background, right?
Most do have some type of a cultural significance, some type of a background that, they latch onto and they're told from generation to generation. The crazy part is, much like the Latino culture that we've talked about, there's people out there in the world, we're not going to say who, but they get bedtime stories of princesses and fairy tales and stuff, and we get crazy stuff like the cucuy.
Okay, to this day, I'm still scared of the cucuy, but I don't know what it looks like.
Who does?
What it is.
That's the whole point.
But I'm still in deep fear.
That's the whole point. These scary urban legends, they prey on universal fear. They feature things like vengeful ghosts and creatures or terrifying twists of familiar settings to freak you out. That's why you have to look under your bed before you go to bed. That's why you have to do those things, because you never know when you're going to run into La Llorona or the dude with the hook. Do you remember the dude with the hook?
Yeah.
Do you remember that story?
I do.
Man, that's.
But I wonder if our versions are different.
Ooh.
Because it's told from person to person, right? And how, think back to the time when you were probably in grade school, out on the playground, and someone told you something, and then it got spread around, or you played the game telephone.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, the ending story is nothing like the beginning. Not even close.
Well, the story that I heard had to do with lovers.
Oh.
That type of thing.
Everybody's out there looking for love.
Looking for love. Well, it's a classic urban legend, and from what I remember, it happened in, I don't know, the 50s or the 60s. And it was all about a couple
who
were parked in a car on Lover's Lane.
Oh, no.
And on the radio comes a report about a serial killer who had a hook for a hand. And after hearing all these different, stories and things like that, they heard strange noises, scraping on their car. Anyways, as the story goes, they were unfortunately murdered. And when they found their car,
they went to go look to see what was making that sound?
I guess.
Why?
They were murdered. And when the police found the car, it had a hook hanging from the door handle. Yep.
See, this is why you just drive away. You're already in a car. But yes, I heard a very similar story. The only difference was I didn't know where they were.
I mean, those stories, the great thing about urban legends, just like you said, like a game of telephone, they kind of range, they differ from place to place. And I think that some people, when they tell stories and they pass along things, a lot of the time, culturally, we'll talk culturally for a moment. Like when my mother, my tias, my abuelito, when they are telling stories, they typically alter the story for their purpose, whether they're trying to teach you a lesson, or whether they are trying to scare you. They're going to use familiar surroundings. It's kind of changes from place to place. Okay,
I want to jump in and add, because you're onto something. A legend is a story told based on historical events that are super exaggerated with the idea of like there actually being something to learn from.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, Eva, when the lights go on, if you're not inside before the sun sets, the cuckoo's gonna get you. What was my mother trying to tell me? That it's important to be inside the house before it gets dark, because in the darkness, bad things tend to happen. There's just a correlation there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. And it's truth. That's just how it is. So when you talk about things like the cucuy and la llorona and things like that go bump in the night, I mean, we have to think about where those stories came from and what they're trying to tell us. But the crazy thing about urban legends is that they are so vast. It's a huge range, because you're talking about things from everything from things like I just mentioned, that crazy, weird, spine-chilling urban legend of the hook. You can go to creepy urban legends with like a weird truth, like you mentioned Charlie No Face, which was based in Pennsylvania, and that legend involving that disfigured man, right, who wanders the roads at night.
Okay.
You were the one who told us about that, right? Well, there's so many different things, because you can do terrifying creatures, ghostly encounters, modern haunted legends. It's just crazy. And that's why I thought it'd be kind of cool to explore a few.
Oh no, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
This is a little off topic.
Okay.
But do you remember grabbing 2 pencils, crossing them over, and then saying the name Charlie?
Absolutely not.
No, see, I remember a game like that. And then like something was supposed to happen with the pencils. But I think you say like, Charlie, Charlie, are you here? And then the pencils are supposed to rotate in a certain sequence in order for it to be an answer of like yes or no. And I remember playing that. I don't know. You said Charlie in that. like came back to me.
The crazy thing about that story is that the Charlie, are you here actually rings a bell.
Right? Like you said Charlie and like my mind spiraled. I also hit my head recently, so
man.
I have an excuse for the next 2 months. I'm okay, everybody.
Maybe
allegedly.
Maybe you're concussed.
I've been cleared.
Oh man. I was thinking when you were talking about, I don't know, Charlie, Green Man, Charlie, whatever.
I'm so sorry to have taken us off task.
It's okay.
I just remember like having the pencils and like depending on like if they moved together or apart, it made a difference. And I'm just like, why was I playing that? Why have I been this way? I was drawn to the Espookys of the world.
You guys are lucky. You had pencils? We had to draw in the dirt.
Okay, so obviously I'm researching it now because I have to see. So, you cross the pencils over, right? Making 4 quadrants. And then within the quadrants, you write yes, no. And then on the bottom, and like diagonally from each other, no, yes. And then you ask, Charlie, are you here? And then the pencils will answer. And you just keep asking yes or no questions. And apparently there's a film out there to give you some nightmares.
Nice.
The fun fact of the day. Okay, I'm done.
Well, like I was saying, when you brought up Charlie Greenface or whatever that first one is, right? That was in Pennsylvania. And depending on where you are in the country,
yeah,
there's so many different legends. And that's kind of why we were doing the states and stuff. But there's some crazy things out there. Like, have you ever heard of the Jersey Devil?
Okay. I have one very similar, so I'll go after you. But I just think it's crazy that we're coming up with very similar results again. No, I haven't, but I'm all in.
Well, the Jersey Devil, there's a legend of the Jersey Devil. And it's basically for over 250 years, many popular interpretations of this crazy creature's origin is about some lady named Mrs. Leeds. She was a mother of 12 in the 18th century.
Whoa.
Right? And she was a resident of New Jersey's Pine Barrens. She discovered that she was pregnant with her 13th child, and she was distraught because she was upset, you know?
That's too many.
But she wished that her child would be born a devil. And legend has it that when Mrs. Leeds birthed her little baby, right, her wish had come true. It had dragon-like breasts with large, leathery black wings, a horse's head, hooved feet, sharp talons, forked tail. It was the devil. And it escaped through a window.
Oh no.
It disappeared into the marshes. It's rumored that this thing still roams the hidden marshes of Pines Barrens, and it kills livestock, terrorizes nearby residents. You just don't want to be caught exploring the woods of your own because this Jersey Devil will catch a sight of you. There's no telling what it might do. But what a terrifying, crazy creature, and the reason that it's all about is because this lady didn't want her 13th kid. Lady, there's other ways.
That's your fault.
There's other ways.
I'm mad at this lady.
Yeah?
Well, what I have for you guys, switching it up a little bit, is La Leyenda, the legend of El Charro Negro, the Black Horseman. So it's a tall man, very elegant, dressed in black. He's very handsome, eyes that shine like stars, an envious mustache that stands out in a crowd, and a voice that draws you in with comfort. He appears on lonely roads at night, often on horseback, and he'll offer you wealth, gold, or protection. If you accept, your soul belongs to him. Some people say he's the devil. Some people say he targets the desperate and needy. And he often vanishes if you refuse him. He's been mostly seen in rural roads outside near Guadalajara on the outskirts. So would you accept a deal if nobody ever knew the cost?
No. I mean, someone offers you wealth and gold and all those things, and good-looking dude with a mustache reminds me of me. I mean, maybe you got to roll up and be like, okay, but I'm telling you guys, if you don't know, you said it once before, if you don't know the cost.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah. You once talked about selling your soul to the devil.
There was a loophole.
To be the devil.
Yeah. Like, I just want to know what it would feel like.
That too great of a cost. That's all I'm saying, guys.
Just trade places for a day. Like,
slow your roll. Know what you're getting into.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I just thought I'd bring that up because we were talking about devilish people.
It's crazy that this is such a wide category.
Right.
Because there are even things like that are urban legends, but that are based off of truths, like the Indian village of the Caldara. It was abandoned overnight, and no one knows why.
Oh.
Right. So the structures of the town of Caldara it dates back to the 13th century. No one's lived there since like 1825. All of its residents back then seemed to vanish into thin air. Because according to local lore, 1,000 villagers completely abandoned their homes overnight without a trace, and no one knows why they left, where they went, or even saw them leave. And there's so many theories, ranging from poisoned wells to a greedy ruler with super high taxes that were a dwindling water supply, but none of them would actually explain why inhabitants of a town of 1,000 would just up and leave, vanish, sudden.
Yeah, that's wild. Because people don't tend to leave unless they have to.
So picture this.
Okay.
It's the 1800s. You come across...
Give me a little more scenery.
It's the 1800s. You come across this town. It's completely abandoned, but there's structures, there's buildings, that's shelter.
Okay.
Things like that, right? So why hasn't anybody tried to resettle the town? Well, that's where the legends come in. It's said that the village chief cursed the land.
Oh no, there it is.
Anyone who tries to live there will die. The Indian Paranormal Society spent a night there and reported disembodied whispers, screams, noises in the dark hours. They witnessed apparitions, heard footsteps, experienced unusual touches, and no one has lived there since the 1800s.
Well, yeah, it's cursed land.
Of course, people.
I mean...
Lori, would you go there? I don't think Lori would go there, guys.
It's cursed land.
It's cursed land, Lori. There's a bunch of crazy stuff happening there. You probably would go there. Lori's like that. Lori's adventurous. She's way braver than I am. I'll tell you that much.
This is all true.
I once did a Ouija board and took my hands off.
I was there. This is a true story.
That's a true story, guys.
Well, if you saw it, how would you know it wasn't just a dog? You ever see something and you have to like blink and like look again and you see it again and you're not quite sure what it is?
Oh yeah, that happens to me a lot.
That happened in the case of this story. It's the story of a shapeshifter known as El Nawal. El Nawal is a person that is often a sorcerer or witch who can transform into an animal at night. This could be a dog, a coyote, an owl, or sometimes even something that's unrecognizable. People often say that the animal has human eyes, that the creature usually has 2 legs that it walks on, but then it'll drop onto all 4s.
Yeah.
And while it's being watched, it might not be fully an animal. So it's like an in-between stage.
That's creepy.
And see, that all dates back to beliefs of pre-Columbian Mesoamerican traditions. And where it's the strongest today is in rural areas, especially in Oaxaca. Isn't that wild?
You know what's wild about that is, I don't know. So we have a couple listeners who have heard every episode. Well, back in one of these episodes, I was explaining how my mother used to help out a curandero in Mexico,
Right.
Agli in Michoacan. And she used to help him kind of read spells, things, prayers, whatever you want to call them, because my mother was literate and
Right.
helped him. There's a story of the curandero who he would, at night, when he found out that someone was cursing, I don't know if it was the village or if it was a particular person,
Okay.
but that he transformed into an animal, as did the other person, and they fought. And then in the morning, when he would tell these things, he would have all sorts of like marks and stuff on him. So when you talk about the transformation from a human figure into an animal, that's 100% what it brought. And that's in Mexico too.
Yeah.
Agli in Michoacan. If those type of stories all have super similarities, what's to say that something's not really happening? Something hasn't happened. It adds validity
Right.
to the story. It just trips me out. And that's from my mom. Shout out to Mom. Love you, Mom.
Hi, Thea. It's just so mind blowing, you know? And then I think of my favorite TikTok video. Shout out to the person who recorded it. No copyrights. Please don't come after me. Of an owl that goes into a church. And of course, everybody knows it's some type of sorcerer or witch. And so it scares them. So they start singing louder. And the owl's just dancing away, vibing. And the louder they sing to try to get the witch owl to go away, the owl's just vibing, dances harder. And it's my favorite video. So anytime I hear of any type of shapeshifter, it's a little hard to be too startled up because I think of that owl that was just trying to go to church.
Yeah.
Get his dance on.
To get his dance on.
It's a great video, guys. Should look it up.
There's a lot of things. Just like, I don't know. You know, we have things like shapeshifters and different cryptids and humanoid figures, but there's also just strange things like the hitchhiker. Have you ever heard the story of the hitchhiker?
You know, I have a story about a hitchhiker.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
It's called La Carretera Fantasma.
Go on.
Story talks about how on a long, long desert highway, this driver picks up a woman that was all alone, dressed in white. He tried to make conversation with her. She was really quiet. Sometimes even shivering. He would ask, "Would you like me to adjust the AC and turn on the heater instead?" And she just was terrified. She finally spoke up, gave him an address. And as he goes to take her, she says, "Can I be taken just a little further? He figured, for safety reasons, she probably doesn't want me to know exactly where she lives. But then, when he goes to say goodbye, he doesn't even hear the door. She just disappears from the backseat. Oftentimes they say that she must have died on that road in a car crash. But I still don't know why it happens. So as you're driving by down a desert road, it's really, really long, you might just pick someone up to go along with you. So put all your things that you're taking with you out of your trunk and into your seats. So then she'll have nowhere to sit. That's my advice to you.
That's a classic, globally widespread urban legend.
Right?
It was also the legend I was about to say.
I knew it.
Yeah. Well, how about one from...
But okay, but put it this way. Why is it so globally known? Why does it keep happening? Why aren't people filling up their car seats?
I do not know. Fill it up, guys. Fill up the car seat.
But also, I think there has to be some truth to it. If it's still relevant, it's still happening.
Yeah. The only difference that I've heard when I was told that story was that they often disappear, and it's usually as you're crossing near a graveyard. Like you took them home to their resting place.
That makes sense. Or where they wanted to go.
Most of you guys know that we're located in California. We're in the Bay Area. We're in Mountain View. And here's one from somewhere kind of close.
Ooh.
This is called The Lost Cabin of Tahoe. Ever heard of that one?
No, but I love Tahoe.
Well, you know, around Lake Tahoe, I don't know if you guys have been up there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it's just, it's serene. It's the beautiful lake. It has all this wilderness, you know. But around Lake Tahoe, there's an old story told by some hitchhikers. Or excuse me, some hikers. An old story told by some hikers and campers. People say that if you get lost in the woods at night, that you might find a small cabin with the lights on inside. There's usually an old man or woman who invites you in. They give you food, let you sleep by the fire, and tells you that you can leave safely in the morning.
Oh no.
But when the morning comes, the cabin is gone. People wake up alone in the forest, and sometimes miles and miles away from where they were. Some believe the cabin itself is a ghost. Some believe it's a spirit that helps lost travelers, but others say something even darker. That not everyone who enters the cabin ever comes back out. Some hikers who have disappeared in the Tahoe forest were last reported saying they had found a cabin to stay in with the lights on.
Oh no.
Yep.
See, that reminds me of the story of the witch who lives in the forest. She lures the children in. She beats them with the plot to eat them.
Ouch.
So we shouldn't be going into randomly found cabins.
No, you shouldn't. You should not. Let's go with not. You should not, people.
That's wild. I have 2 more stories.
Okay. I have like 80.
Okay. I have 2 more to share. They're about women that have been betrayed. So I'll start with the first one.
La Llorona.
La Planchada.
Oh.
The Ironed Nurse. So this is a story. A nurse who was known for her perfectly pressed uniform falls in love with a doctor. But the doctor didn't just have love for her. He had love for all the nurses.
No.
So he betrays her.
Dang.
She finds out. and she dies from a broken heart. And she now haunts the hospital, appearing to patients late at night, asking why he betrayed her, why he didn't care that he broke her heart. And we know that it's La Planchada because her uniform is well ironed. So they say that she actually helps people. She thinks that she's still an active nurse. So at times she's appearing to patients who need help, even when there's less staff, like at night. She helps administer medicine. She's known to fix IVs. She'll help patients feel better. And staffs will just say, "I'm sorry that I can't find that nurse. She died years ago." And this is like something that they commonly say to patients.
Wow.
She has appeared in hospitals across Mexico, especially in Puebla. She's really kind, and she's on a routine. She's very calm, which makes it worse, because people enjoy her presence rather than feel scared of her. I honestly think that I would be scared to be in a hospital than to hear her footsteps as she watches me sleep.
No. I'm not a big fan of things that kind of creep in the night when you're sleeping.
I mean, but she's not bad.
So what? So send me a card from afar. Not all these urban legends are something that's going to hurt you, but I still think that's kind of spooky.
I mean, that's just because we've learned throughout all these podcasts. If something is scary, we run away. We go in the opposite direction. We don't stick around and find out.
She's been dead for 10 years. No, thank you. Negatory.
Yeah, absolutely not.
No. And there's also weird creature things that just make no sense. You ever heard of Goat Man? There's a thing called the Goat Man of Utah.
Oh.
And basically near some old railroad tunnels outside of Salt Lake, there's a legend about something called the Goat Man. And people say it lives near bridges and tunnels and the abandoned railways.
Oh.
It walks on two legs, but has the head of a goat and eerie, glowing eyes. Teenagers used to dare each other to go into the tunnels at night and call out for the Goat Man. And the legend says if you knock 3 times on the tunnel wall and wait, sometimes you'll hear something knock back.
Oh, no. No, thank you.
The worst thing is you can hear hooves on the concretes behind you. People claim that they've heard breathing right next to their ear while they were standing alone in the tunnel. Others say that something heavy would run across the bridge above them when no one else was there. I mean, there's no major reports of it doing any damage to anybody, but locals refuse to go anywhere near those tunnels after dark.
I mean, can you blame them?
No, I do not blame them.
That's super scary. I'm scared and I'm way over here.
I'm not even in Utah.
I know. I'm way over here in California.
I'm right over here. He's been dead for 10 years.
I laugh because I don't know what else to do when I'm scared.
Oh,
All right. Well, for my final story, I have La Calle de la Quemada. So in this legend, we're talking in colonial era.
Okay.
Okay, that's the setting. Really let it resonate with you. In Mexico City. This woman was so beautiful that most men were obsessed with her. But one man in particular was dangerously jealous. Jealous enough to be violent and took it way too far. He would follow her, threaten anyone who would look at her, and the violence began to follow as soon as he would wake up.
Wow.
Terrified that her beauty was the cause of bloodshed, she made a decision. One night, she burned her own face.
No.
Not by accident, not by madness, but as a sacrifice, so that no one else would be harmed. From then on, she wore a black veil, hiding what she had done. And strangely, the man who once raged with jealousy stayed right by her side, marrying her and remaining devoted for the rest of her life.
Wow.
What people say now is that the street where this happened still exists, La Calle de la Quemada. People have claimed that they see a veiled woman who walks the streets late at night. If she lifts her veil, her face is still burned. Some say that those that are obsessed with their beauty should be warned. She might pop up to warn you. Others say that she is seen by people on the edge of making a destructive choice. She doesn't chase them. She doesn't scream. She just appears.
Wow.
And you know, we mentioned earlier how these urban legends have some type of message that they're trying to teach you, right? Here it's don't be vain. You know? I mean, the real monster is the guy who's obsessed with her. So her beauty is danger. Love can be possessive. Protection could be done as a form of self-destruction. So it's important to look at those things, right?
Oh, yeah.
I just can't believe she married that man.
Mm.
This is definitely a real horror. It's just that part. Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah.
I know.
It's
we have like a nasty taste in our mouth now. Like, that was so disturbing. But that's why I saved it for last. For us to sit with it for a second. On this Good Friday, already fighting our emotions. And now we're fighting that horrifying story. You know, even to add on our theme, some spirits cry for what they've lost. Some wait on empty roads. Some walk amongst us unnoticed. And some were never fully human to begin with. But yet, the legends are here.
Yeah.
To remind us.
And not all the legends are about goat people and devils. The last one that I was going to talk about is a place that Lori and I have actually gone and visited. It's a location. Now, we didn't go inside because we couldn't.
Oh.
But have you ever heard of the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles?
No, tell us.
The Cecil Hotel is one of the most famous haunted places in the West. It's terrifying. Its history is filled with murders and suicide, mysterious deaths, people who have vanished. Guests have reported things like faucets running by themselves, footsteps in empty hallways, TVs turning on at night, and always feeling like someone is sitting on the bed, elevator doors randomly opening. The most famous story was about a woman. Her name was Elisa Lam. And in 2013, she died. She died in the Cecil Hotel. And how it happened, it was so freaky. She disappeared, and weeks later, guests were complaining about dark water and bad tastes from the water in the tap. Her body was discovered in the hotel's water tank. There's video of her going in and out of the elevators and acting totally erratic. Craziness. Looking out like something's following her. Something's chasing her.
Right.
And then there's nothing. people just believe that the hotel's super haunted, but not by one ghost, by many, many, many ghosts. They say you stay on certain floors and you'll hear someone walking outside your door, stopping, and standing there for long periods of time without ever knocking. And the crazy thing about this are the guests that have been there. Obviously, you have Elisa Lam, who unfortunately passed away. Richard Ramirez reportedly stayed there during his 1985 killing spree. Do you know who Richard Ramirez is? He's the Night Stalker.
Oh, no.
Right? Jack Underwood was an Australian serial killer that stayed there in 91.
Ew.
There's been suicide and violent crimes. The hotel has a long history, including Julia Moore, 1962. It's crazy. The hotel is now changed and it's called Stay on Main, and it's gained a reputation for being a hotspot for like misfortune and death because it was over by like Skid Row, LA. Just creepy. And we went there not necessarily looking for the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah.
But we kind of went looking for the Cecil Hotel.
See, my next question was going to be, what's drawing these people in?
That's the part.
The location doesn't sound ideal.
Well, it was, I saw a documentary on Elisa Lam.
Okay.
And her big thing was, if I remember correctly, I think she was from maybe Canada. And she was going on her very first trip by herself. And she decided to come down to the States, go to California, visiting. And she stayed there because it was affordable.
Okay.
They also say that she was vulnerable, that she had some, I don't want to say mental disability, but some type of mental issue. But just creepy stuff have always happened there. I mean, can you guys picture staying in a place where the Night Stalker
is right next door?
Was staying while he was doing his killing spree. Yeah, and who knows right next door to you now, you know? Oh, no.
Okay, the next time I book a hotel, I'm going to think to myself, does this place look affordable?
I mean, you're talking about booking a hotel. We stayed at the Clown Motel on purpose. You know? Oh, man.
I see, but like, it's such a tragedy because she decided to go book a vacation for herself.
Yep.
And ended up with a vacation to eternity.
Yep.
That's terrifying.
Yep. It's just.
And then also, here's another question.
Mm-hmm.
Why are most serial killers men? Where are the female serial killers? Have we not caught them?
That's what I was about to say. Maybe they're smart enough not to get caught.
They're just out there in the world?
Just out there doing their thing.
Or do we just not get to that extremity?
You know,
like that's something I got to research now because that's scary.
There's a lot of things that you could research. There's a lot of things about people. So saying that like serial killers and things like that come from a particular race. Why are I forget what the percentage is, but it was incredibly high, or Caucasian. Why is that?
I don't know. I would assume that there's more of them in the world. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'd have to look at the data.
There's a lot to it.
I just thought it was interesting because, you know, a lot of the documentaries I've seen, they're of serial killers. They've all been men. Yeah. Just an observation. I mean, if anybody wants to leave anything in the comments or email us at
Espookys Talk, ESPOOKYSTALK @gmail.com, or you can always just click on the link right in our bio.
Or do both. Write us 2 emails.
Leave some messages. Let us know what kind of crazy urban legends are from your area. Maybe they'll be on the next podcast.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
This has been a very chill podcast.
It's kind of fun just to tell stories.
Yeah.
You know, like I know we do a lot of things where we kind of go back and forth and personal stuff, but just to kind of tell some stories, I think it's kind of cool.
You know, we got to have a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
And I just think with today's cosmic forecast that this is what's going to keep everybody, you know, at ease.
Yeah.
Because, you know, this is the point of no return. So
On a Good Friday.
On a Good Friday.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of goes with like the whole Lent vibe though. See, it feels like every time I get behind the mic and I'm doing the cosmic forecast, we're talking about letting things go. Looking inward.
Looking inside.
Is that just a thing to do on a Friday? You know, because when we were releasing on Tuesdays, like, I feel like the vibes were different.
Maybe.
And since we switched to Friday, it's always like, let go. You want to know something really interesting? This is just a random fun fact. My brother recently told me that the days of the week coexist with the planets.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, no way, you're pulling my leg right now. I don't know. Do we still use that saying?
You do.
In other words, I think he was messing with me, right? Trying to make me look like a fool. And he goes, think about it. But he says that it's in like Latin. So it would be, you know, Spanish is pretty close. So, lunes, Monday, ruled by the moon, lunes, because it's Luna, right? And Tuesday would be martes, which would be Mercury. Isn't that interesting? And then like it goes in the order, because, you know, they thought that the moon was a planet at the time. So like it goes in that sequence. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, of course, is the sun.
Sun. Yeah, I get it.
That one doesn't make any sense in Spanish. Domingo.
I mean,
Sol.
It is what it is.
But I thought that was so cool.
Well, guys, it is about that time. It brings us to the end of tonight's episode. You know, urban legends are a strange thing. You know, it trips me out that they live somewhere between truth and fiction. They're passed from person to person. Some of them are cultural, changing every time they're told, just depending on what's being taught, what they want you to know, where you are. But some are probably just stories meant to scare kids, right? Keep us out of dangerous places. But others, those are the ones that stick around for a reason. Maybe someone really did see something standing on a mountain, or maybe they did see something crawling through the forest. Maybe there really is something calling people to the Cecil Hotel.
Probably.
Yeah?
I think so. People keep going and tragedies keep following.
The scary part about urban legends isn't the monsters or the ghosts, though. I think it's that it always happens to a friend or someone new. You know what I'm saying? When they tell those stories. And it always starts off, you know, with, I know this is going to sound crazy, but it really happened.
Yeah.
Those are the freaky things. So tonight, though, guys, don't let it happen to you. When you put your head down on your pillow for your nightly slumber, please be sure to check under your bed.
Lock your closet, doors, extra, and your mirrors.
This is going to sound crazy, guys, but it's a spooky time.